That bag of frozen chicken fillets in your freezer bought at chicken breast prices might legally be up to 18% water. That's not an accusation. It's printed on the ingredient panel, just never on the front of the bag where you'd notice it. Today I am checking 6 chicken products on UK shelves against that exact declaration, then showing 3 that never needed to make it in the first place. One bag on this list literally prints 100% chicken breast fillet on the front while admitting added water in the small print right next to it. Quick standard before we start, because I want to be genuinely fair about what this actually is and isn't. Under UK law, up to 5% added water is allowed in raw meat right now, with absolutely no declaration required at all. Cross that line, and the label has to say with added water, and it also has to clearly show the actual meat percentage somewhere on the pack itself. None of this is illegal, none of it is fraud, and I want to be clear about that before we go any further. It's a legal threshold set out in the regulations, and the declaration almost always lives in the full product name or the small print ingredient panel. Never on the big glossy photo of a chicken fillet sitting on the front of the bag. That's the loophole here. Not that the information is hidden from you in any illegal way, it's that it's disclosed exactly where the label rules require it to be, in a place you were never actually trained to look, before tossing the bag in your trolley and moving on to the next aisle. Number 6. Humza quick frozen chicken breast fillets, stocked at Sainsbury's. This one sits on the shelf like any other bag of frozen fillets, completely unremarkable, the kind of thing you grab without a second thought while rushing through the frozen aisle. Turn it over and the full product name says quick frozen, skinless, boneless chicken breast fillets with added water. That much is genuinely disclosed right there in plain English. Here's the actual problem. Nowhere on this particular bag is there an actual percentage attached to that admission. At least the other 5 entries further down this list give you a number to actually work with when you're standing there deciding. You know, water was added because the words are right there in front of you. You have no real way of knowing how much of what you're paying chicken prices for in this bag is actually chicken, and no way to compare it against any other bag on the shelf using an actual figure. That's not just added water sitting quietly in the ingredients, that's added water with the amount kept completely off the page for anyone trying to compare it. That's the baseline problem running through this entire list. The next one, at least, tells you the number, and the number genuinely isn't great. Number 5. Asda chicken breast fillets, 1.2 kilograms. A familiar, everyday frozen bag from one of the UK's biggest supermarkets, bought on repeat for easy weeknight dinners without much thought given to the label. The ingredient panel reads, chicken breast, 82%, water, stabilizers, sodium bicarbonate, sodium citrates, dried glucose syrup, salt, and the full product name confirms with added water. The number is right there in black and white on the back of the bag. Most shoppers just never actually look at it before checkout. 18% of what you're paying chicken breast money for in this particular bag isn't chicken at all, it's water and stabilizers doing a convincing job of holding shape and texture through the freezing and cooking process. That's 18% doing a very convincing impression of extra chicken sitting in your basket. That's the lowest percentage on this entire list with an actual number attached to it. The next one is a budget line that doesn't even try to dress the number up. Number 4. Morrisons Savers chicken fillets. The no frills, clearly budget bag on the bottom shelf, bought purely on price with zero illusions about premium quality attached to any of it. Even here, at the very bottom of the price ladder, the full product name states chicken breast fillets with added water. Same declaration, same loophole, running straight through the cheapest tier on the entire shelf, No exceptions made for price to a silver price point. This isn't a mid-range trick dressed up in nicer packaging to soften the blow for a shopper willing to pay a little more for the same freezer bag. It's the identical formula sitting at the very bottom of what's on offer, running through the cheapest shelf in the entire freezer aisle, without a single exception made for price. At least the honestly cheap bag isn't pretending to be anything else it's not, and there's something almost refreshing about that kind of plain up-front honesty. That's the budget version of the exact same story playing out again. The next one carries one of the most trusted names in the entire supermarket. Number 3. Tesco chicken breast fillet 1 kilogram. One of the UK's biggest grocery names, the bag millions of shoppers default to without a second thought because it's simply always there on the shelf, week after week. The ingredient panel reads chicken breast, 90% water, dextrose and salt, a short, seemingly simple list. Big name, same loophole running quietly underneath it. 10% of this trusted bag is water and dextrose, not chicken, and it's completely legal and fully disclosed. Just never obvious to anyone glancing at the front of the packaging in a hurry between the freezer and the checkout. 90% chicken sounds genuinely high right up until you stop and remember what's actually supposed to be inside a bag labelled chicken in the first place. That's one major supermarket's own trusted name doing it. The next one is a different major supermarket's own name doing the exact identical thing. Number 2, Morrisons chicken breast fillets 700 grams. Another Big Four supermarket's own label staple, sitting quietly in freezers across the entire country, bought without a second thought week after week. The ingredient panel reads chicken breast fillet, 90% water, stabilizers, sodium carbonates, sodium citrates, dried glucose syrup, salt, and the full product name confirms with added water. Different retailer entirely, same 90% figure, nearly the same exact list of stabilizers word for word down the ingredient panel. This isn't one brand's individual quirk sitting in isolation, a one-off mistake by a single supplier. It's the standard formula running across nearly every major retailer's frozen fillet line. Store to store, freezer to freezer, town to town. Same glucose syrup, same 10% gap, just a different logo stamped on the front of the bag. That's the standard formula repeating itself yet again across the aisle. The final one adds a claim right on the front that directly contradicts what's printed inches away from it. Number 1. Morrisons Southern Fried Fillets. Made with 100% chicken breast fillet is printed directly on the front of this pack in bold, confident letters, about as reassuring a claim as a shopper could possibly ask for standing in the freezer aisle deciding what to cook. Now read the full product name sitting right next to that exact claim, on the exact same packaging, same bag, same shelf. It says, cooked skinless chicken breast fillets with added water in a southern fried breadcrumb coating. Both claims are genuinely true at the same time, which is what makes this one so disorienting. 100% chicken breast fillets is describing the type of meat cut used inside the coating, not the composition of the finished product sitting in your basket. Two accurate claims sitting inches apart from each other on the exact same piece of packaging, quietly answering two completely different questions without ever telling the shopper standing there that's actually what's happening on the pack in their hand. The packaging never once flags the distinction for you. That's the most confusing label on this entire list, and it's still completely within the rules. Here's what it actually looks like when a pack has nothing left to untangle at all. Okay, 6 products down, and I want to be clear again before we move on, because it matters here. None of them broke the law, and none of them are doing anything the regulations don't explicitly permit them to do. What they share is a declaration that's always technically present somewhere on the pack, and almost never sitting where you'd actually see it before dropping the bag in your trolley on the way to the checkout. There's a genuinely simple way to check this before you buy. Read the full product name printed on the pack, not just the glossy photo doing the selling, and check the percentage sitting next to the word chicken. Here are 3 products that never needed to make that declaration in the first place because there was nothing added to declare. Safer 1 Waitrose and Partners free-range Dutchy organic chicken breast fillets. The ingredient panel reads organic chicken breast fillet, 100%. Contains none. Additives, none. Nothing to disclose on the full product name because there is genuinely nothing added that would ever require disclosing in the first place on this bag or any other pack in that particular range. This is exactly what the ingredient panel looks like when a brand has absolutely nothing to hide behind a carefully worded full product name, because the full product name and the actual contents are saying the exact same thing. Safer 2 Asda Butcher's Selection chicken breast. Fillets 700 grams. Same supermarket as the 82% bag we just covered a few entries ago. Completely different shelf, completely different promise sitting behind the packaging design and the price tag attached to it. This line shows up as 100% chicken with no added water in it at all. Full stop, no fine print required to explain anything away. Same store, same trolley, same weekly shop. And the 18% that was quietly missing from the other bag earlier on this list was simply never there to begin with on this particular one. Safer 3 Tesco fresh British chicken breast fillets. Same supermarket as the frozen 90% bag earlier on this list, but this one comes from the fresh counter instead of the freezer aisle entirely, sitting on ice rather than sealed in a frozen bag. Fresh, non-frozen chicken like this is far less likely to carry an added water declaration in the first place, since it isn't processed or held the same way frozen fillets are during manufacturing and transport. It's worth checking the current pack yourself before you buy, since formulas and ranges do shift over time across every retailer. But the underlying fix here isn't always about switching to a completely different brand or a different supermarket altogether. Sometimes it's simply about walking to a different fridge in the exact same shop, on the exact same trip, on the exact same day. This was never really about 6 bad bags sitting in a freezer somewhere waiting to be found. It's about one declaration that's completely legal, fully disclosed exactly as the regulations require, and almost never printed anywhere near the glossy photo that actually sells you the bag off the shelf in the first place. The same added water rule applies to bacon, ham, sausages, and plenty of other processed meat sitting in that same aisle, under the exact same UK labelling law, using the exact same 5% threshold that decided everything on this list. Once you learn to check the full product name instead of the picture on the front and the percentage sitting quietly next to the word chicken, you start finding this same gap running through the entire meat aisle, one bag at a time, week after week, wherever you happen to do your shopping.